I'm going to sound like a major hater right now, and that's okay. But I find it interesting when, like, a woman starts dating a man who's outside of her ethnicity or race or culture, and then she makes her entire identity that man's culture.
You all, do you find it annoying when somebody from a different culture is dating another person from another culture, like two different cultures come together, two people come together and they are dating? Do you find it annoying when the woman in in the relationship, she start changing everything that has to do with her culture? She start doing everything that only has to do with the man's culture, when it comes to dressing, when it comes to food, when it comes to music, when it comes to everything. She starts doing everything that has to do with the man's culture, and she just neglects her own and just face the man's own. Do you find it annoying, or there's nothing wrong with it? I have the video to share with you all. Let me go ahead and roll this clip for you all to watch to the end. She was just having a rant and just saying she finds it so annoying when you're dating so person because they're different culture, and now you both of you are like together dating, blah blah blah, and all you do is neglect your culture, and all you do is just focus on him and just do everything that has to do with him and forget who you are. Let me roll this clip for you all to watch to the end, and I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the video.
I'm going to sound like a major hater right now, and that's okay. But I find it interesting when, like, a woman starts dating a man who's outside of her ethnicity or race or culture, and then she makes her entire identity that man's culture. Like, she will only cook and eat their foods from that point on. When they start dating, she only cooks and eats their cultural foods. She wears their cultural garments. The music she listens to changes, and it's like you like slowly see her losing her identity, and just like everything she does has to do with that man's culture. And it's like, what happened to your own? Like, you could still be yourself. You could still have your own, like, familial and cultural traditions. Like, you don't have to, not everything you do has to be whatever that man's culture and tradition is. Like, it's just so weird to me. And there's one specific culture that I'm thinking about that women date, and they like basically try to become one of them. And I'm not gonna say the name because we already have like a huge diaspora war going on right now, so I don't want to add to it. But it's just very annoying to me when I see it. I'm just like, what happened to you as an individual? Like, yes, that's great. Do all the things, embrace your partner's culture, but you can still be an individual. You can still have your own likes. You don't have to completely submerge yourself in their culture.
Hey, beautiful people. How y'all doing today? It's your favorite girl, Maria David, and I'm back again with another interesting video. As I asked earlier, do you find it annoying, or you just see that there's no big deal, like there's no big deal if a lady, try to do everything that has to do with a man's culture, or you see that, okay, there's a big deal, like you don't have to neglect your culture just because you are in a relationship with a man. So is it that you don't find it annoying, or you find it annoying? But I'd like to know your thoughts about this down in the comment section respectfully. I have few reactions to share with you on this video, and some people were like saying, yeah, most women try to forget who they are when they are dating somebody, and they try to change, you know. Let's watch the reactions together, and I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the reaction. But then don't forget to put your thoughts down in the comment section.
Race or culture, and then she makes her entire identity.
No, but can we really talk about this? Because I had that experience. I've noticed it a couple of times with friends or people I knew, one in particular. I grew up in the Midwest, and there was a friend of mine, also white from the Midwest. She ended up, after graduating high school, she married this guy. He was Mexican. They're still married, but I hadn't seen them for the longest time. I went back home not too long ago and linked up with her again. She had a full-on Mexican accent. I was uncomfortable. This girl, when I left, she talked just like me, completely. And then when I came back, her accent was almost as thick as her husband's. I was like, what happened? I was just uncomfortable.
I'm going to sound like a major hater right now, and that's okay. But I find it interesting when
I'm personally not getting any hater vibes from that video. I definitely see where she's coming from. And it's just disappointing at times to see people losing their identity when they get together with somebody from a different culture. So maybe, tone it down a little bit and not completely neglect your own culture. I can see how sometimes maybe you weren't in touch with your own culture or you just weren't exposed to it as much. So when you get together with somebody that comes from a very rich culture, it's so easy for you to go a little bit crazy and totally neglect your own. But it can be so much fun when you confuse two different cultures together. That's why I have my Moroccan boyfriend eating Cuban black beans and plantains with his beef tagine. So definitely, it's something that you need to like stop yourself from. If you're just with somebody that has a richer culture than you, don't lose your identity. Don't lose yourself. Definitely find a way to fuse the different cultures together.
I'm going to sound like a major hater right now, and that's okay. But I find it interesting when
It's not just women who decide to date outside of their race who start to pick up on their culture and things that that man likes and they start doing them. It's just not those women. It's literally most women who do that. Women have a tendency to want to get close to men and anything they are interested in and are about, they tend to pick up and want to know more about. That's why don't get me wrong, I'm not saying women can't be into sports, women can't be into things that men are into. I'm not saying that. But I am saying most of the time that don't be the case. They don't be into that. Their boyfriends be into that. So they try to be into that because they know it's a form of their partner's love language of getting closer to them. And they know they enjoy that. Do men do the same thing? No.
like a woman starts dating a man who's outside of her ethnicity.
Go watch her whole video if you haven't already, but basically she's asking why do black women who date other races or ethnicities tend to shy away from their blackness and adopt more of their partner's culture. And I have a theory as to why that may be. So I've had a bunch of female friends growing up, and on the outside looking in, because I am not a woman, this is just my opinion, I feel like a lot of black women tend to do this because being a black woman is oftentimes being compared to ghetto, ratchet, or the stereotypical loud black women. We see that a lot on TikTok. Our own people do it, and mostly the men, sad to say. And so they tend to adopt their partner's culture so that they can kind of mask or hide their blackness and blend in and fit in with, who they are. And it's not necessarily they're abandoning it. They're just scared to show their true, authentic black selves because of the fear of being judged. And on the flip side to that, you have men who will make make a black woman feel like they have to conform to their ideal woman. Meanwhile, all a black woman to them is just eye candy, a trophy, something they can show off to their friends. Hey, I got a black woman. So that's just my opinion.
All right, back to our conversation. We're talking about dating different culture, and when is it annoying when the woman try to just do everything that the man that has to do with the man's culture and neglect her own culture? Is it annoying to you or not? Let me know your thought down in the comment section. I feel like is it only me that just like seeing two different groups, different culture, man and woman come together? I feel like the relationship is always interesting, because you have your own, I have my own, and you come together and be like, oh, this is how we do it here. Oh, this is how we do it here. And I feel like for me, I just like it. Like that's just out of out of the conversation. For me, I don't really think there's anything wrong when you try to do something that has to do with your man's culture. The only time when I see when it's wrong is when you are doing it too much. Like, it's now so obvious that everything all about you has changed and you've forgotten who you are, then there's a problem. Because the moment you leave this man, or the moment the relationship destroy, or something happens in the relationship, how do you find yourself again? Just as we always say, decenter men. Even when you're in a relationship with them, you decenter them, so that if you go center yourself all around them, all around their culture, everything, while in the relationship, when they start showing you pepper, when they start giving you trouble, when they start showing you shaggy, how do you run? Because all your life, everything all about you now is all about their culture, and you start, how do you start switching to your culture? Or I don't know, like, if that makes sense. So I would not say that, I don't think there's anything wrong. Maybe try to, try their food, cook their food. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong probably their dressing. I don't think there's anything wrong in music. You probably just want to flow with the with conversation with your partner, or probably with your partner's family. You just want to get to know him deep. You can just, I don't think there's anything wrong, unless you're doing it too much that you've forgotten who you are. If you're, just as the creator was saying, that some women do it too much and it's very annoying. Yes, when you do it too much, it's very annoying and it's irritating, and people outside can tell that you are doing it too much, and even the person that you're doing it for, which is your man, sees that you're doing it too much and there's a problem already. So I would not say, maybe don't try to do something about your man's call. At least try to know more about him. If that's what you want, it's fine, but don't dwell so much on it that you forget who you are. And the crazy part is, this kind of conversation mostly always happen at the woman's side. It's the women that is always expected to switch characters, to switch cooking, to switch dressing, to switch blah 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 music. It's the woman that's always expected in that way. That is why it's annoying as well, because you hardly see a man that get married to a particular culture and is changing all his ways. It's rare. Most of them don't. They want you to come and switch to their own side of, you know and that is why it's very annoying, the way people, society, see women, just expect women that you shouldn't have your own life, you shouldn't have what you like and what you want. So always try to do things, just to do things for the man, so far the man is pleased and happy. You just try to do it, doesn't matter if you're happy or not. So trying to do everything that has to do with your man's culture, if you're doing it out of, you don't even like it, or you're just doing it because you want to please a man, there's a problem. If you're doing it too much, there's a problem. You just have to do it, just if you don't want to do it, it's fine. I'm just saying, personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. If you're just doing, just that, oh, this is how you people do it here, oh, like, there's nothing wrong with it for me. But then when you're doing it too much, then there's a problem. As I said earlier, even while you're in a relationship with a man, learn to decenter them. When you decenter a man, even when you're in a relationship with him, you're happier, and it's easier for you to move on if there's anything wrong in the relationship at the end of the day. Or when they start showing their behavior, it's easier for you to just move on to the next person. But if you center all your life, center all your whole self in the relationship, when it's time for you to move on, when it's time for you to let go, there's a problem. Let me know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section, and thank you all so much for sticking around to this point. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe, and kindly turn on the post notification bell so you can get notified once I upload another interesting video like this one. And of course, I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.